A particularly beautiful woman is a source of terror. As a rule, a beautiful woman is a terrible disappointment. Part 1. Have you ever met someone who seemed so perfect, so flawless, that it made you feel slightly uneasy? It's as if something about them, perhaps their striking beauty or effortless charm, made you feel slightly intimidated, almost afraid. There's an old saying, a particularly beautiful woman is a source of terror. As a rule, a beautiful woman is a terrible disappointment. But where does this thought come from? Is it rooted in jealousy, fear of inadequacy, or a deeper psychological truth about how we perceive beauty? Today, we're diving deep into this fascinating concept, exploring why beauty, something universally admired, can paradoxically become a source of anxiety, disappointment, and even terror. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's unpack this intriguing idea together. The paradox of beauty. On the surface, beauty seems universally desirable. From paintings and sculptures celebrating ideal proportions to modern media's relentless pursuit of physical perfection, attractiveness is consistently praised and pursued. But there's another side to beauty, a darker, less talked about aspect that rarely gets attention. Sometimes, when confronted with exceptional beauty, people experience unease, discomfort, or even dread. This contradiction isn't new. In fact, the quote from Carl Jung that inspired today's title captures this sentiment perfectly. Jung wasn't just talking about superficial beauty. He delved deeper into the human psyche, highlighting how beauty can unsettle us because it often carries immense power and emotional influence. A beautiful person naturally commands attention, admiration, and often unspoken envy or insecurity from others. Their very presence can unintentionally trigger feelings of inadequacy or intimidation, creating an atmosphere that feels charged and uncomfortable. So why does beauty cause us discomfort? To understand that, let's first look at how humans perceive beauty at a psychological level. The psychology behind beauty. When we see someone exceptionally attractive, our brains instantly respond. Studies have repeatedly shown that beautiful faces activate the reward centers in our brains, areas typically associated with pleasure, satisfaction, and desire. This neurological reaction explains our fascination with beauty. Our minds instinctively recognize attractiveness as something valuable, pleasurable, and worth seeking. But that initial spark of admiration isn't the full story. Human psychology is complex. When we encounter someone significantly more attractive than ourselves or the norm, our minds often shift from simple appreciation to subconscious comparison. This comparison process is automatic, part of our evolutionary wiring, and rarely conscious. What happens next? If we perceive ourselves unfavorably in comparison, our self-esteem takes a hit, even subtly. Feelings of insecurity or inadequacy creep in, prompting anxiety and a subtle kind of fear. This unease can escalate, turning admiration into discomfort or even resentment. Suddenly, beauty isn't just something pleasant, it becomes threatening. Expectations versus reality. Beyond the initial psychological reaction, there's another dimension: expectations. Society often teaches us, through movies, social media, fairy tales, and popular culture, that beauty equals virtue, kindness, or moral goodness. We subconsciously equate physical attractiveness with desirable personality traits. Think about classic fairy tales. The heroine is always beautiful, and that beauty symbolizes purity, kindness, and goodness. The villain, on the other hand, is often unattractive, reinforcing the belief that beauty equates to moral superiority. This association, however deeply ingrained, sets us up for disappointment. In reality, beauty has no inherent connection with kindness, virtue, or moral character. Beautiful people are just people, complete with flaws, insecurities, and complexities like everyone else. But when we approach beautiful individuals with inflated expectations, assuming they'll be kinder, friendlier, smarter, or better, we set ourselves up for inevitable disappointment. This is precisely where Jung's quote hits home. As a rule, a beautiful woman is a terrible disappointment, he says. Why? Because our exaggerated expectations rarely match reality. The disappointment isn't necessarily the beautiful woman's fault. It's a product of unrealistic expectations created by our own minds, society, and cultural conditioning. Beauty and the niche phenomenon. Let's talk briefly about a concept frequently discussed in psychology and sociology circles: niche. Originally a term from ecology, referring to a species' role within its environment, niche in the social sense describes how individuals navigate social roles, contexts, and expectations. For exceptionally beautiful people, especially women, society often dictates very specific roles, niches, that they are expected to fill. For example, exceptionally attractive women are often expected to fit roles of influencers, models, actresses, or public figures. If they step outside these socially prescribed roles or fail to embody the perceived ideals, society may judge them harshly, again creating disappointment. Conversely, if they successfully fulfill these roles, others might envy or resent them for appearing superficial or privileged, leading back to the cycle of unease and intimidation. This creates a paradoxical scenario. Beautiful people are simultaneously admired for their attractiveness and resented if they appear too comfortable with it or use it to their advantage. Navigating this complicated niche isn't easy. Beautiful individuals might feel constrained, pressured, or misunderstood. The disappointment and discomfort flow both ways, creating a challenging social dynamic that's rarely openly discussed. Personal anecdotes and real-life stories. To better illustrate this phenomenon, let's look at a real-life example. Consider Emma, a woman renowned in her social circle for her stunning beauty. Wherever Emma goes, she's the center of attention. Friends jokingly call her the magnet, acknowledging her effortless ability to draw attention. But while outsiders might envy her beauty, Emma experiences consistent anxiety around people's expectations. She frequently worries that her friendships and relationships hinge on superficial admiration rather than genuine connection. Emma's experience isn't unique. Many exceptionally attractive individuals describe similar feelings of isolation, insecurity, and emotional stress. The fear of disappointing others or being perceived negatively can create tremendous internal pressure. Over time, this pressure transforms beauty from something empowering into something anxiety-inducing, even frightening. When admiration becomes fear, the subtle shift from admiration to intimidation or even terror occurs when beauty becomes overpowering. Exceptional beauty can feel overwhelming to those around it, triggering powerful emotional reactions: envy, jealousy, insecurity, anxiety, or inadequacy. When beauty becomes threatening in this way, people might unconsciously distance themselves from exceptionally attractive individuals, further fueling a cycle of isolation, misunderstanding, and disappointment. This phenomenon isn't exclusive to romantic or social interactions. It's pervasive in professional environments too. For example, attractive individuals sometimes face skepticism about their qualifications or intelligence, as others assume their looks provided unfair advantages. This kind of bias, often subconscious, leads to unfair treatment, further complicating the already challenging niche exceptionally attractive individuals occupy. Wrapping up part 1. So far, we've explored why beauty, despite being universally admired, can paradoxically become a source of fear, disappointment, and discomfort. From neurological reactions and subconscious comparisons to unrealistic expectations and the challenging niche beautiful individuals must navigate, we've begun unraveling the layers of this fascinating topic. But there's more to uncover. In the next part of this series, we'll dive deeper into the social implications of beauty, how it affects relationships, careers, and mental health, and how understanding this phenomenon can change our perceptions for the better. Stay tuned for part 2, and don't forget to comment below if you've ever experienced anything similar or have thoughts you'd like to share. A particularly beautiful woman is a source of terror. As a rule, a beautiful woman is a terrible disappointment. Part 2. In our first part, we explored how beauty can paradoxically evoke fear, discomfort, and even disappointment. We discussed the psychological foundations, unrealistic expectations, and societal pressures, often summed up as the challenging niche beautiful people navigate. Today, we'll go even deeper. We'll explore how these feelings influence relationships, careers, mental health, and ultimately, our sense of self. Beauty and relationships, a double-edged sword. Attractiveness undeniably offers advantages in forming initial connections. People naturally gravitate toward attractive individuals, making it easier to start relationships, friendships, and social interactions. But while beauty may open doors, it doesn't always sustain meaningful connections. In fact, it can complicate them significantly. Consider romantic relationships first. People often feel lucky or proud to be with someone exceptionally attractive, at least initially. But soon, insecurities and jealousy may arise. Partners may fear losing their beautiful significant other to someone more attractive, successful, or charming. This insecurity can cause emotional tension, mistrust, and communication breakdowns, leading to relationship struggles. Imagine Julia, a woman whose beauty regularly turns heads. Initially, her partner adored the attention Julia attracted. But soon, insecurity crept in, leading to jealousy and anxiety. Her partner constantly feared Julia would find someone better, even without any basis. Over time, these insecurities led to arguments, misunderstandings, and eventually separation. Julia wasn't at fault, but her beauty indirectly caused relationship strain, a scenario surprisingly common for attractive individuals. Similarly, friendships can suffer. Friends may unconsciously compete or feel overshadowed, creating subtle tensions. This jealousy or insecurity can strain even genuine connections, leaving beautiful people wondering why relationships feel unusually complicated. Professional implications of beauty. While attractiveness can open doors professionally, especially in industries like entertainment, fashion, marketing, or sales, it also carries unexpected disadvantages. Attractive individuals often face stereotyping, suspicion, and biased assumptions about their abilities. Let's revisit the concept of the beauty niche briefly. In workplaces, particularly corporate or professional environments, exceptionally attractive people frequently encounter skepticism. Colleagues or supervisors may subconsciously question whether their success stems from genuine skill or merely physical appearance. This suspicion creates an unfair burden, forcing attractive individuals to work harder to prove their merit and overcome biases. Take Mia, a highly intelligent and capable professional working at a tech company. Despite consistently delivering stellar results, Mia regularly faced skepticism from colleagues who doubted her credibility. They assumed her rapid career advancement resulted from her looks rather than her expertise. Mia had to expend extra energy demonstrating competence, undermining her professional confidence and creating constant anxiety. This experience is shockingly common. Attractive professionals often report feeling scrutinized, pressured, or unfairly judged. Beauty, in this scenario, becomes a double-edged sword. It grants initial opportunities, but simultaneously fuels persistent skepticism and judgment, leading to stress, isolation, and insecurity. Mental health and the burden of beauty. Perhaps the most overlooked aspect of exceptional beauty is its impact on mental health. Society rarely sympathizes with attractive individuals because beauty is typically considered a privilege. But beneath the glamorous surface, beauty frequently carries hidden psychological burdens. Attractive individuals can struggle with anxiety, insecurity, and even depression stemming from unrealistic expectations. Constantly feeling observed, judged, or stereotyped can cause significant emotional distress. Over time, these pressures accumulate, significantly impacting mental health. Consider the constant scrutiny beautiful women face, especially those whose careers depend heavily on appearance, such as influencers, models, or public figures. Every flaw, mistake, or moment of vulnerability is exaggerated or criticized. In an age of social media, this relentless pressure multiplies exponentially, intensifying stress and anxiety. This scenario applies beyond celebrities or influencers. Regular people experiencing exceptional beauty often share similar struggles. There's the constant pressure to maintain attractiveness, fearing judgment or disappointment if their appearance changes. As a result, anxiety and self-esteem issues can flourish behind seemingly confident exteriors. Social media's amplifying effect. Social media plays a critical role in amplifying the anxiety and disappointment associated with exceptional beauty. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube fuel comparison culture, where everyone constantly measures themselves against highly curated, idealized standards of beauty. For attractive individuals, social media becomes another source of stress rather than enjoyment. They face intense scrutiny, judgment, and criticism from online communities. Even minor imperfections, acne, weight fluctuations, or bad days become magnified and publicized. This scrutiny can lead to overwhelming anxiety and even body dysmorphia, as people obsess over maintaining an impossible standard. Attractive influencers regularly report feeling pressure to uphold unrealistic images of perfection. Every post must be flawless, reinforcing the exhausting cycle of perfectionism. If they reveal vulnerability or imperfection, they face harsh criticism or disappointment from followers who feel betrayed by perceived authenticity breaches. Thus, beautiful people become trapped between maintaining impossible standards and the backlash for appearing superficial or unreal. Breaking the illusion, the reality of beauty. Here's a critical point. Beauty is rarely as effortless or as fulfilling as society portrays. Behind the glamorous facade lies a complicated reality filled with anxiety, insecurity, and emotional labor. Recognizing this complexity can change our perceptions profoundly. Beautiful people, like everyone else, are multidimensional. They possess flaws, insecurities, strengths, and weaknesses. Expecting perfection or attributing superficial stereotypes unfairly restricts their humanity. When we reduce individuals to mere physical appearance, we rob them of complexity, authenticity, and genuine connection. As viewers, friends, or partners, challenging our assumptions about beauty can lead to healthier relationships, interactions, and expectations. Instead of seeing beauty as intimidating or disappointing, we can appreciate it as merely one dimension of a complex individual, one aspect among many deserving recognition and respect. The truth about expectations. Returning to Carl Jung's insightful observation, a particularly beautiful woman is a source of terror. As a rule, a beautiful woman is a terrible disappointment. Jung isn't suggesting beauty inherently causes terror or disappointment. Rather, he's highlighting how society's distorted expectations create this paradoxical scenario. The disappointment arises not from beauty itself, but from our unrealistic expectations. When we subconsciously demand perfection, both physically and morally, from attractive individuals, disappointment inevitably follows. No human being can fulfill such impossibly high standards. To escape this cycle, we must reevaluate how we perceive beauty, expectations, and humanity. Instead of projecting unrealistic ideals, acknowledging and accepting beauty's complexity can free us, and beautiful people, from these unfair burdens. Preview of Part 3. We've unpacked how exceptional beauty affects relationships, careers, and mental health, highlighting its complicated emotional landscape. But what practical steps can we take to redefine our relationship with beauty? How can attractive individuals better navigate their complicated niche? And how can society support healthier perspectives about attractiveness? In the final part of our series, we'll explore practical solutions and real-world strategies for addressing these challenges. We'll discuss how society and individuals can move toward a healthier, more balanced perspective about beauty. Stay tuned for Part 3, and please share your experiences or reflections below. Have you ever felt burdened by unrealistic expectations or witnessed similar struggles in your life? I'd love to hear your thoughts. A particularly beautiful woman is a source of terror. As a rule, a beautiful woman is a terrible disappointment. Part 3. In the first two parts of this series, we explored the complex relationship society has with beauty, how exceptional attractiveness can paradoxically generate anxiety, unrealistic expectations, disappointment, and even isolation. We've seen how this dynamic influences relationships, professional lives, and mental health. But now, in our third and final part, let's shift our focus to practical solutions. How can we, both individually and as a society, redefine our relationship with beauty, support healthier self-perceptions, and create spaces that celebrate authentic, multidimensional identities? Redefining beauty beyond surface-level expectations. Beauty, as we've seen, often brings unintended burdens. Exceptional attractiveness isn't inherently problematic. Rather, society's perception and treatment of beauty create unrealistic expectations. To break free from these burdens, we must start by redefining what beauty means to us. Think about how we compliment others. When we repeatedly emphasize only physical beauty, telling someone they're gorgeous, stunning, or flawless, we unintentionally reinforce the idea that beauty alone defines their worth. Instead, we should cultivate appreciation for traits beyond appearance. Kindness, intelligence, creativity, humor, compassion, resilience, and authenticity. When someone is beautiful, it's fine to acknowledge that beauty. But we should also acknowledge their other qualities equally, reminding ourselves and others that beauty represents only one dimension of an individual. Doing so reduces unrealistic expectations, helping us and others appreciate human complexity fully. Authenticity over perfection. One powerful way individuals, especially those navigating the complicated niche of beauty, can break this cycle is by embracing authenticity over perfection. The pursuit of perfection creates anxiety, disappointment, and perpetual dissatisfaction. Authenticity, however, fosters genuine connection, self-acceptance, and meaningful relationships. Let's consider social media influencers, who often represent modern beauty ideals. Those who share curated, flawless versions of themselves inadvertently perpetuate unrealistic standards, fueling anxiety both for themselves and their followers. Conversely, influencers who embrace transparency, showing their genuine selves, including imperfections, struggles, and insecurities, build deeper, more meaningful connections. Followers appreciate authenticity because it reflects reality, reducing feelings of inadequacy or disappointment. Beauty doesn't vanish when authenticity emerges. Instead, it becomes richer, more relatable, and ultimately healthier. Accepting and displaying authenticity empowers attractive individuals to escape the constant pressure of maintaining impossible standards. Healthy boundaries and emotional intelligence. Navigating societal expectations around beauty requires emotional intelligence and strong personal boundaries. Beautiful individuals often feel pressured to accommodate everyone else's expectations, sometimes at the expense of their own comfort, needs, or mental health. Setting clear boundaries emotionally, socially, and professionally helps manage these pressures. Consider setting healthy boundaries around compliments or attention that focus solely on appearance. If someone feels uncomfortable when repeatedly praised only for their looks, gently redirecting conversations toward deeper topics, or politely explaining that they appreciate compliments about their character or skills can help reshape social interactions. Emotionally intelligent individuals also recognize when societal expectations or pressures negatively impact their well-being. They actively seek supportive communities, friendships, and relationships that value them holistically rather than superficially. Prioritizing relationships with people who genuinely understand and value their multidimensionality can profoundly impact emotional health, helping reduce anxiety, disappointment, or loneliness associated with superficial admiration. Society's role: promoting a balanced perspective. While individual actions help, broader societal changes significantly influence our collective perception of beauty. Media, educational institutions, workplaces, and social platforms play critical roles in reshaping how beauty is portrayed and perceived. Media can lead the way by embracing diverse standards of beauty, including varied body shapes, sizes, ages, and ethnicities. Films, advertisements, and popular culture that consistently present more realistic, diverse images of beauty can fundamentally shift societal expectations. Realistic portrayals reduce the pressure individuals feel to match impossible standards, leading to healthier self-esteem and fewer disappointments in real-world interactions. Educational institutions also hold power in shaping future perspectives. Schools can integrate discussions about body image, mental health, self-esteem, and media literacy into their curriculums, empowering young people to critically examine beauty standards, question unrealistic portrayals, and build resilient self-perceptions. Workplaces can encourage environments where merit, skill, and character are prioritized over appearance. Policies promoting inclusivity, respect, and fairness protect attractive individuals from stereotypes or unfair treatment, ensuring they're evaluated based on genuine performance rather than assumptions tied to beauty. Social media platforms can also take proactive roles, promoting authentic representations rather than unrealistic, curated perfection. Platforms supporting transparency and vulnerability create healthier online environments, reducing anxiety and unrealistic comparisons among users. Real-life examples of positive change. We're already seeing promising changes in societal attitudes toward beauty. The body positivity movement has gained immense popularity, celebrating diverse body shapes, sizes, and appearances. Influencers and celebrities who publicly embrace their imperfections, scars, insecurities, and real-life struggles inspire countless individuals to accept and love themselves as they genuinely are. Brands now increasingly use inclusive campaigns showcasing real people, diverse models, and untouched images, significantly shifting public perception toward authentic beauty. Companies like Dove, for example, have successfully promoted authenticity, challenging conventional beauty standards and advocating genuine self-acceptance. Such campaigns reinforce healthier beauty perspectives, decreasing the psychological burden individuals face around attractiveness. Empowering personal narratives. Attractive individuals themselves can actively shape societal attitudes by openly sharing their experiences and struggles. Personal narratives highlighting challenges associated with beauty, such as anxiety, pressure, or isolation, can dispel myths and encourage empathy. Honest conversations normalize these struggles, breaking the silence around the complex psychological burden exceptional beauty can impose. Encouraging attractive people to share genuine stories fosters community and mutual understanding. These narratives allow society to see past superficial admiration, revealing a shared human experience characterized by vulnerability, strength, complexity, and authenticity. Beauty redefined, a call to action. Ultimately, redefining our relationship with beauty requires collective effort. Individually, we must challenge our expectations, acknowledging that beauty is complex, nuanced, and multidimensional. We must strive to appreciate people fully, beyond surface-level appearance, fostering deeper connections and healthier emotional dynamics. Societally, media, education, workplaces, and social platforms must actively reshape narratives around beauty, promoting diversity, authenticity, and emotional intelligence. Supporting and advocating for genuine representation and transparency can significantly reduce anxiety, disappointment, and isolation associated with unrealistic beauty standards. By redefining our perceptions and promoting authentic, balanced perspectives, we collectively create a healthier, more compassionate society. A society where beauty, rather than causing fear or disappointment, simply enriches our understanding of the human experience, alongside kindness, intelligence, compassion, and resilience. Closing thoughts. Returning once more to Carl Jung's quote, "A particularly beautiful woman is a source of terror." As a rule, a beautiful woman is a terrible disappointment. We now see clearly the layers beneath its provocative surface. Jung wasn't criticizing beauty itself, but highlighting society's distorted expectations and unrealistic projections. Recognizing and actively challenging these distortions frees us and beautiful individuals from unnecessary emotional burdens. Let's celebrate beauty authentically, without unrealistic expectations, judgment, or anxiety. Let's appreciate beauty in all its forms, not as a source of terror or disappointment, but as one of many aspects enriching human complexity. Together, we have the power to redefine beauty for healthier, more meaningful lives. Thank you for joining me through this deep exploration. I'd love to hear your reflections, experiences, or thoughts, so please share them below. Until next time, keep embracing your authentic self.